Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you very much for joining us on Ubuntu channel. Today, we are so excited because it is the day that we are introducing our channel. We've been broadcasting news, entertainment, lifestyle, but today we're introducing what we do exactly as Ubuntu channel and explaining what Ubuntu is. My name is Pamela Mtaleka Pekelendalama. Quite a mouthful, but you can just call me Pamela. It's okay. Everybody calls me Pamela. So I'm not alone on this introduction of Ubuntu channel. There's a production crew in the background, and thank you very much for putting up this production and the artwork production crew. And would like to apologize for starting a little bit late. This is due to circumstances beyond our control. However, the program is going on, and we are introducing the channel today, April 2, 2022. So we have guests on the program today, 13 amazing human beings. They are going to explain to us what Ubuntu means in their circles. So we'll right away go to the first guest, and that is Malumba Malumba. He's a Zambian actor, voiceover artist, radio presenter. Sometimes he's a cop. So he's going to explain to us what Ubuntu means. So it's over to you, CJ. Please give us Malumba Malumba.
A common adage that says no man is an island is a very special adage. Man at the center of so many things. Man getting to affect so many forms of life. The life of man himself being affected by man. Man realizes that he has a responsibility towards oneself and towards other forms of life that surrounds him. It is of utmost importance to realize that when a man has a feeling, when a man has compassion towards anything and wants to take care of it, and wants to appeal to it, or indeed respond in a more humane way, is what makes a human being special. In that a feeling like that in Africa is what is referred to as Ubuntu. Ubuntu goes beyond just a feeling. Ubuntu goes beyond just a word, Ubuntu itself. Ubuntu is a tradition that man, or indeed a human being, is born in. Naturally, we are born with Ubuntu. We live with it. We come into this world with that. We grow up with that because we realize that as we grow up, we have feelings towards others. These feelings are strange feelings sometimes. Good, bad, worst of feelings. But we also have a feeling that is in charge of these feelings, that makes these feelings be controlled. A feeling that makes you realize that, above all, you are human. That feeling, that tradition is Ubuntu. Ubuntu is what you feel when you see bad things happen. Ubuntu is what you feel when you see good things happen. Ubuntu is a spirit that brings people together. Ubuntu is a feeling that brings people together.
Yes, indeed. Ubuntu is a spirit that brings people together, and that's what we believe on this channel, Ubuntu channel. Please don't forget to comment and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also like our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page, as well as Instagram page. And don't forget to hit the bell button so that whenever we have something, you get a notification that Ubuntu has posted something so that you don't miss out on very important news, entertainment, and the likes. So, and in our comment section, the person with the most likes might just get a surprise. So don't forget to get engaged. We'd like you to explain to us what is Ubuntu in your world. What is Ubuntu? So we move on with our program. In the 1950s and 60s, Zambia had a great woman called Julia Chikamoneka. She was a freedom fighter. She fought to ensure that we had political freedom, and the country that was known as Northern Rhodesia became Zambia. She was one of Kaunda's peers, so to say. That woman impressed one woman who's alive today. The other, Julia Chikamoneka, is dead. But there was one Mary Walia. She was so impressed with Mama Chikamoneka's work that she started calling herself Mama Chikamoneka. So she joins us today to explain what Ubuntu means in Bemba. So over to you, Mary Walia, also known as Mama Chikamoneka.
Ine Mama Chikamoneka na la londolola ubuntu chinshi ubuntu ninshila iyo abantu basendelamo ifyo umuntu afwiri okuba nefyo afwiri okuchita nefyo afwiri okwikaliramo ubuntu. So kwali befintu ifyo tukonka mu buntu. Number 1, umuntu afwiri okulatina lesa, afwiri okukwata katina kakalambanga nchi kuli lesa shichayibumbo mwino wabumbile ububumbo bonse. Elo kabiri, umuntu afwiri okuba honest, umuntu afwiri okuba wachishinka, umuntu afwiri okuba wachishinka. Elo kabiri, umuntu afwiri okuba social, ukuba social kuba omuntu waba bwino kuli fyonse. Pantu nga waba social na abantu wakalala ensala, nga waba social na abantu bakakulanga napa nindalama, nga waba social na abantu bakakulanga n'okuli ifyakulya, nga waba social na abantu bakakulanga n'okuli nchito. Pantu you are social, pantu uli mu buntu. Kabiri, umuntu ine afwiri okwata language isuma, afwiri okwishiba omwa kupelela ili alelanda n'abantu. Kabiri, afwiri okusosensosero isuma ku bantu. Kabiri, afwiri okwata umuchinshi ku bantu bonse, respect. Nga kwata respect, afwire no kwishiba ifya kusosa nefyo tafwiri okusosa ebuntu. Mu buntu bwinyobu umuntu afwire kwata positive mind. Iya kweba ati limbirero kutina ya ku business. Kulia ku business tafiendele bwino. Fili okwishiba fyati fintu wande fikatachani fika bombeka. Ero nangu na tampo kuchite chintu. Fuye na isho apape na fiapa kano chika bombeke. Fuye kwata positive mind. Ukfuire kabiri umuntu ale ishibo kwebati pesa mbali ya chialo pali ba win and lose. Na patience. Umuntu afuye kwata patience. Umuntu afuire okwishibe fya kupokelera abantu. Hospitality. Umuntu afwiri okwishibe fya kupokelera abantu. Abantu nga nabesa payadi odini kalibu. Waishiba babeshire baichi, ababeshire bakalamba. Busha babeshire nalaba teka shani, busha nalaba posha shani, busha nalachita shani ebuntu. Umuntu afwiri okwishibe mifwalire isuma.
twatotera bamama kikamuneka pakutulondolerako ubuntu ofe bupidi bulamu chibemba. Thank you so much mama kikamuneka epa shiri pakuleka. We move on with our program. Now children also have a role to play in the intersection of Ubuntu. Remember, Ubuntu means we are connected. It doesn't matter what age you are. So on this channel, we are going to have a segment for children. We'll make sure that we give them a voice so that they can interact. We can also learn from their ideas, what is new, what is different. So children are very, very important and we value them a lot. And so today we're so happy and grateful that we're joined by one young lady from Denmark. Her name is Liu Storm. She's going to give us her vision of Ubuntu, what it means. She's also going to speak in Bemba. And shortly after Liu Storm, we'll be joined by Joseph Musonda. He's, those who remember, in 2012, Zambia had its greatest moment when they got the Africa Cup. They became the champions of Africa. So he was part of that team. He only played 5 minutes of that final and got injured, but Zambia had its glory and he got to celebrate with the team. And today he is on the program and is going to give us his version of what Ubuntu is. So we're going to have those two people, first Liu Storm and then Joseph Musonda. Stay tuned and please don't forget to subscribe.
Chitemiko, Ubuntu Mutende, Ubuntu Nivenane, Ubuntu is togetherness. I hope you like this video with Ubuntu. Like Ubuntu on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Bye bye. Ubuntu.
Good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu. Ubuntu means a lot. Ubuntu means respect. Ubuntu means humbleness. Ubuntu means humility. Ubuntu means love. Ubuntu means to help one another. Ubuntu means togetherness. So when they said Ubuntu in our Zambian language, it means ukuikatana, ukubombera pamo, then nokupera umuntu onse umuchinshi. In our language, turandati okosulile ekopanoko. So tatusula umuntu wapangwa mchata chakwalesa. Because tawishire mailo fyakaba. Mailo uliao inosulile ewinga kwafwa. That's why Ubuntu means a lot and you have to respect everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liu Storm and Joseph Musonda, for those nice words. We really enjoyed your definitions of Ubuntu. Now, it is said that Zambia is a comedy channel in heaven. I don't know if that is true, or maybe the angels watch us every day and laugh about our lives because there's something funny happening in Zambia every other day, which is okay. We're fun people. So now we're going to move on to the comedy segment. We have a lot of comedians in Zambia and some of them have given us a voice to explain what Ubuntu means in their comedy circles. And one of those is Isaac Chamba. He's an actor, he's an MC, he's an entrepreneur, and he's going to give us his version of Ubuntu. And shortly after Mr. Chamba, There'll be Mr. Emmanuel Muntanga. This is an artist who's making the statue of Dr. Kaunda, KK, Dr. Kaunda. So we'll have those two next to feature on the Ubuntu channel, and they'll give us their vision of what Ubuntu means.
Ubuntu is to be human. Ubuntu, let's be human. Ubuntu, loving one another. Ubuntu, kukondana. Ubuntu, kukhala homwe. Ubuntu, living together as one. Ubuntu, caring for one another. Ubuntu is caring for one another. Ubuntu, kukhala homwe. Ubuntu, kukhala pamoja. Ubuntu, ni kusamana. Ubuntu, ni kukondana.
Ubuntu is actually a Bantu word. It's derived from Ubuntu, human, which means human. So Ubuntu means the goodness of the African tradition, the goodness we center on the human being. The Ubuntu is the togetherness of person-to-person relationship in a community. When there's Ubuntu, the young people will be helping the elderly who are weak in society. So when you are helping somebody who is weak in society, that's Ubuntu. Helping the elderly to go and get water from the stream. Usually we get water from the stream, some distance. So you'll be helping this old woman to get water. Then you are performing Ubuntu. And maybe in terms of the arts, the arts in our African tradition, Ubuntu could work in the sense that it's the arts of dancing, in the art of making crafts, the art of making traditional jewelry bead. It's all about pleasure. The pleasure, the feeling nice of looking at the images. You feel nice when you look at an image, an African sculpture, an African beadwork. You feel nice. So that function, the function of entertainment, pleasure, it's also part of Ubuntu. That's why alcohol was invented in African culture. Alcohol is very important in the sense that they brew traditional beer out of maize, porridge and stuff. And then every ceremony, that beer should be there, bringing people together. So leisure and pleasure and enjoyment and pastime has been part of the African culture, the Ubuntu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac Chamba and Mr. Emmanuel Muntanga. I especially like the point about the Vugogo. After you succeed, after a good harvest, you should have Vugogo. It's very, 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 very important. Yeah, in the president's voice. Yeah, so we move on to women in development. Zambia's great, innovative women, very hardworking Namayos. So the next one, she's in Mansa. Her name is Anika Papula. She makes hand sanitizer using cassava byproducts. So she's going to explain to us what Ubuntu means in our world out there in Wapula province. CJ, over to you. There's Anika Papula.
The desire to contribute to positive changes within rural communities is my strong motivation to work hard for my society. For me, that is Ubuntu. My name is Anne Kapapula, and I make cassava byproducts. I chose cassava because it is low in protein and fat, and it's gluten-free. I make cassava crisps, and I also make hand sanitizer out of the ethanol that comes out of cassava. I support cassava farmers of Luapula province because I thought they needed to know new ways of farming cassava, new methods, better methods of farming cassava. I have introduced them to new varieties, early maturity that will make them have their crops early so that they can have increased yields as well, and also so that they can have increased income that will lift them out of poverty. For me, again, that is Ubuntu. The cassava was usually a crop that nobody paid attention to. But if this cassava industry can be upscaled, I am very sure that all these poor rural communities that have cassava around them will live better lives. Again, that is Ubuntu. I submit.
Important work there from Annie Kapapula, all the way from Luapula province in Mansa, Luapula Ntondo. Oko valia face piece fiasiara vaposa na patishara. Yeah. So the next lady that we are having on the show is Miriam Zimba. She's from the Bankers Association of Zambia. BAS, for those who don't know, represent all the 19 commercial banks that Zambia has. That is their association, and their chairperson is Mizinga. And today, Miriam is going to give us a voice on what the bankers think about Ubuntu. Over to you, CJ. Let's have Miriam Zimba.
Hello, and this is Miriam Simba from the Bankers Association of Zambia. I'm the Public Relations Officer at the Bankers Association of Zambia. I'm here just to give a little bit about working together, the importance of collaborative efforts in line with what I do in the banking sector, as well as how we can harness the collaboration in other needy sectors of the country. So my short talk to you today is really about how we can foster partnerships, about working together, about what we are calling Ubuntu. So in today's non-profit and business landscape, there are challenges that are common to many organizations. Lack of resources, funding, sustainability, and increased demand for services can often result in difficulties in building capacity. The magnitude of these issues can be quite daunting. However, there is bargaining appreciation for the benefits of creating critical partnerships and collaborations in order to create significant social impact. You agree with me that strategic partnerships and combining forces can result in great accomplishments. This is what we call Ubuntu. There are often a number of significant benefits, from improving outreach efforts to enhancing programs and services. There are many ways that developing partnerships can improve efficiency, impact, and sustainability. Collaboration with the right partners can involve sharing of information, transfer of decision-making power, consolidating administrative functions, integrating organizational structures and mechanisms, and coordinating funding and cost sharing. And as such, when organizations are able to pool interests assets and skill, the goal of broadening benefits to communities is achievable. And this is what we are trying to say when we say Ubuntu. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miriam Zimba, and we sincerely apologize for the feedback. That video had a little bit of feedback. Sorry about that. So we move on to another woman. This one is in Livingstone, the tourist capital, home of the Shungu Namtitima, also known as the Victoria Falls and Mosotunia. It was named Mosotunia by the passing colonials, but the locals in Livingstone, it's Shungu Namtitima. That's the original name of the Victoria Falls. So this woman, her name is Matronelle Mwetwa. She's going to talk about community development. She works for Livingstone City Council. And let's hear it for Matronelle Mwetwa. Over to you, CJ.
Good evening, good morning. My name is Matronelle Mwetwa, based in Livingstone, and I work under Livingstone City Council as the Chief Community Development Officer. I'm here to talk about Ubuntu, but before I go there, I'll talk about my job. I work with a lot of people in the community, different people. Youths, women, men, different people. I love my job because I meet most people for the first time, but because they have heard that, oh, if you go to see the chief, she's going to help you, or if you need clarification on something, she's going to guide you. So this is a person you're seeing for the first time, but then they come with all the hope that you are going to offer solution to whatever it is that they're going through at that moment. For me, it's quite an honor. It's really, really an honor to serve people in such a manner. And the fact that for a short period they'll depend on me to help them, I'll relate that to Ubuntu. Ubuntu is, I'm a person because of a person, and through a person. I'm who I am because of who we are. I live in this community where I depend on services that surround me in that community. If I get sick, I have no idea on how to get better. Certain conditions that they become worse, I have to depend on the services of a hospital through a medical doctor. If I need to go to school and study, I have to depend on teachers and lecturers. For me, that is Ubuntu. It's interdependent. It is selflessness. It's wanting to bring out the best in a situation for this other person, so that they also know that Ubuntu still exists.
Thank you very much, Matronelle. Indeed, Ubuntu still exists. That reminds me of bus drivers at Limatawa. Shout out to all of you. These men, they give our children, those school-going children, a discount like no other. If you're going to Roma Girls, for instance, you're coming from Emersdale, Matero, you only pay like 6 kwacha and they'll take you to school. So they are subsidizing education, and that is Ubuntu. So thank you so much, bus drivers at Limatawa. You do great work there in Lusaka. So we move on to another woman. This one is Susan Mwape. She's a force of nature. She's funny, she's beautiful, she's very intelligent, and she represents Zambia in most of when our neighbors have elections, she goes there to monitor elections. Even in European countries, she goes there to monitor elections. So she's CEO, or should I say, executive director of Common Cause Zambia. And she is also going to give us her version of Ubuntu. Susan Mwape, thank you so much for joining us. Over to you, CJ.
Hello, my name is Susan. I'm from Lusaka. I work for an organization called Common Cause Zambia. Ubuntu for me, I learned as a child from my mother that Ubuntu was derived from the Zulu term, Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, which means a person is a person because of other people. But beyond that, Ubuntu is about togetherness. It's about the impact that each of our lives and the course of action that we take in life has an impact on other people. I'll give you an example. Coming from a country like Zambia, it's very easy for a person to go to any village in any part of the country with over 72 ethnic groups and survive with nothing, because you will be taken in, you will be taken care of by the people of that village. They will feed you, they will take care and ensure that you go safely even as a stranger. That is what Ubuntu is all about.
Thank you, Susan, for that explanation. Now, there'll be no Ubuntu without food. A person has to eat to stay alive. And for that person to do that, there should be a farmer to grow the food. Now, when we think of farmers, most of the time we think of poor old men working in the fields. But Zambia has an incredible one, young woman. She's a youth. She's a youth leader. She's a farmer, so passionate about agriculture. Her name is Lily Singelengele, also known as Lily Sings. So she's joining us on the program today, and she's also going to give us a version of Ubuntu. So let's have.
Director for Agriculture Youth Organization. I'm so excited about Ubuntu coming to Zambia and the globe. Ubuntu means working together, and the fact that women, youths, men, marginalized communities are beneficiaries of Ubuntu. I feel like if we put them at the center of Ubuntu, it means that we're moving a step further for a better generation and building a future for the next generation. Our main focus in the organization where I work in is climate change advocacy and agriculture empowerment for women and youth. So I feel Ubuntu coming in Africa, Zambia to be specific, will help us move a step further, and they'll give us more trainings and ideas on how to work together and how to bring people in one room to discuss how working together will benefit the generation to come.
Thank you, Lily, for giving us your voice, and thank you for the good work that you do with your group of farmers. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you, Lily. Now we move on to our last guest. not really our last guest. I think we still have two more guests. This is an old lady. She's from Mapanza. She also sent in a word to tell us what Ubuntu means in our world. So let's have Zenene from Mapanza, CJ.
Ubuntu ncho chamba ngandibherekeramwe buli bantu ivarantu omwe ivahwana mbuli kuti na muntu wavadiwe varavora oyu wareta busu oyu wareta mpongo oyu wareta mapopwe mbe kutegwa magwashanyari adirwe ponyari mwibuntu yamba kuti mbuli muntu nawapatira wainka kuyosiga amunza amuntu asigari amunza amuntu ndiza waromba urara mbe mponya vaya varamunzi varamutambura mburi muntu nyina aoroinga wainka kuti akakugwashigwe mburi kuvantu mbe vamanarya vamupa mararo warara bwaja wainka ponya muchitongejo vamba kuti itende ngorembwe ndizambwe naye bowandoka vachindi ichakuinka kokuya kulimbavo vayo kutambura mugonya mbulimbo vatambura chochamba bobo andiza mwana wando kwatu paramura kuti nkoya mukakuswangani avavo kutegwa vana bururu vamwarumi atakapatatauri ani mukuhumbwa mwenzo wando okasika abwa akamutambureka voto imwenzo mbuli kutonga wesu kuti wasika muramupa chuno mwamupa menda akunywa mwamupa chibwandu mwamana mwamwahya mwamubuya ipenzi nango sikuswaya buyo nango sikuindirira mbobuntu mbotuhiswe bombuli muchitonga ijesu mbojamba obo jabuntu kambo buntu inga liberekera anto omwe nga nyonse muranto omwe muhonana mapenzi ajisumwe awomwe sombo buntu mbobwamba obo.
Twalumba Kapati Nene. Now we move on to our last guest. His name is Sipo Mwanza. He's a community development expert. He's also in Southern Province in a town called Choma. And he's also going to give us what Ubuntu means in this circle. Over to you, Sipo Mwanza.
Hi, my name is Sipo Mwanza and I am the co-founder and director of operations for Open It for All Zambia. Open It for All Zambia is a non-governmental organization that is based in Choma, Southern Province of Zambia, with its offices in Livingstone, Lusaka, Chipata, Mpika, and Lufanyama. All of these offices that we have in the mentioned towns are run by a group of volunteers, young people. Because at Open for All Zambia, we believe that young people have the power and the potential to change the world and to create the change that they want to see. Our organization's focus areas are governance, environment, health, and ICTs. What Ubuntu means to me is the ability to look at the need of others and be able to put yourself in their position, be able to do something about it. And basically at Open for All Zambia, that is what we do with our vast numbers of volunteers that we have, of which the majority are youths. So we believe to say in our thematical focus areas, we're able to create the change that we want to see in issues of environment. Our volunteers and ourselves, we volunteer ourselves with or without being paid to make sure that our communities are taken care of. An example of that is the reforestation project we are doing in schools in Choma District and Livingston, where we engage young people into the climate conversations. They're able to plant trees. These are food trees and other kind of trees, so that we can fight the adverse effects of climate change. But beyond that, we also work with various women's groups in rural areas where we're able to uplift their lives, their livelihood standards, and be able to connect them to opportunities, to power, so that they're able to speak to powers that be and be able to hold leaders accountable and demand for the change that they want to see in their various constitutions. And constituencies can be a ward or a village. The idea behind that is to give each and every citizen an opportunity to be able to speak out and take part in the national development agenda. This gives a lot of women, youths in all various parts of our areas that we operate in to be able to voice out and add their voice to the developmental agenda. So Ubuntu to us simply means what I've just said, and above all or more means that we're able to put ourselves.
Thank you, Sipo, for that. And Sipo Mwanza was the last of our guests on the show today, where we're introducing Ubuntu channel to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Please be sure to like our pages and subscribe. And I'd like to assure you that on this channel, you never see fake news. This is a genuine channel for the people, and we amplify everyone's voice, and we ensure that we amplify people from from all walks of life, from any country, whether you are in Tasmania, you are in whatever distant part of the earth. If you want to have your voice heard on Ubuntu, we are going to give you an opportunity to do that. And you, the viewers, you have an opportunity to suggest guests that you'd like to see on this channel, because going forward, we've introduced the channel, so now we're going to be having live discussions every week. We're going to have live discussions. A schedule will be shared on our pages, on the social media channel, on the social media that I've mentioned, that is YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So we're going to share our schedule of programs, and if you feel there's someone you'd like to appear on the program, just use the comment section. You can tell us the person and how to contact them, or you could inbox us or use any of our contact details. They are around here somewhere, so you can directly engage us, and we will make sure that whoever you want, we'll get them for you, and we're going to interview them for you. So this has been Pamela, and one more thing, if you continue being active on our pages, you might just receive a surprise. So make sure that you don't lose out. So on behalf of our director, who is Mr. Percy Chama, and our producer, CJ, it's good night, and continue supporting Ubuntu channel. Thank you so much for joining us today.